Okay, so like coffee, it's the elixir of life, am I right? But sometimes making it feels like a whole thing. You know, grinding beans, frothing milk, basically becoming a barista in your pajamas. Not always the vibe. That's why we're about to dive into some seriously easy coffee recipes. Like, so easy. You could probably make them with your eyes closed. Maybe don't actually try that, but you get the idea. Alright, first up, let's tackle iced coffee. Because let's be real, sometimes you need that caffeine fix. Like yesterday, grab your favorite mug or a glass, whatever. Scoop in some instant coffee. I'm talking like a tablespoon or two, depending on how strong you like it. Add a splash of hot water, just enough to dissolve the coffee. Now, here's the game changer: ice. Fill that cup to the brim with ice, and then top it off with your milk of choice. Boom. Iced coffee in under 2 minutes. You can totally jazz it up with some flavored syrups or whatever. But honestly, sometimes simple is best. Next up, we're getting a little fancy. Espresso Martinis. They sound super intimidating, but I promise they're not. You'll need some vodka, coffee liqueur, like Kahlua, and a shot of espresso. If you don't have an espresso machine, no worries. Just use some strong, brewed coffee. Add everything to a cocktail shaker with some ice, and shake, shake, shake. Like, really go for it. Strain that into a chilled martini glass, and if you're feeling extra, garnish it with a few coffee beans. Cheers to that. Okay, so maybe you're in the mood for something a little more, I don't know, sophisticated. French press to the rescue. Grab your French press and add some coarsely ground coffee. Don't even think about using fine grind here, trust me. Heat up some water, not boiling, just hot, and pour it over the grounds. Give it a gentle stir, pop the lid on, and set a timer for 4 minutes. When the timer goes off, slowly press down on the plunger. Pour yourself a cup and prepare to be amazed by your own barista skills. Chocolate and coffee? It's a match made in heaven. For this mocha situation, brew up some coffee, any way you like it. While that's brewing, grab your favorite mug and add a couple of tablespoons of chocolate syrup. Once the coffee's ready, pour it over the syrup and stir until it's all melty and delicious. Now for the fun part, whipped cream. Go big or go home, right? And if you're feeling extra, sprinkle on some chocolate shavings. Because why not? Vanilla lattes are like the ultimate comfort drink. And guess what? They're surprisingly easy to make at home. Brew up some strong coffee. While that's happening, heat up some milk, any kind will do, in a saucepan or the microwave. Add a teaspoon or two of vanilla extract, depending on how vanilla-y you like it. Now, here's the key to that frothy goodness. Pour the milk into a jar with a lid, and shake, shake, shake. It's like a little workout for your coffee. Pour the coffee into your favorite mug. Top it with the frothed milk and sprinkle on some cinnamon if you're feeling fancy. Caramel macchiatos. They just sound fancy, don't they? But don't worry, this recipe is anything but complicated. Start by drizzling some caramel syrup inside a glass. Brew up some strong coffee. You're sensing a theme here, right? While that's happening, heat up some milk and froth it up using your preferred method. Jar shaking, milk frother, whatever works. Pour the coffee into the glass, then gently add the frothed milk. Now for the finishing touch, drizzle on some more caramel syrup. Because more is always more, right? Okay, so maybe you've heard of Bulletproof coffee. It's like coffee, but with benefits. Brew up some coffee. You know the drill by now. While that's happening, add a tablespoon of unsalted butter and a tablespoon of coconut oil to a blender. Once the coffee's ready, carefully pour it into the blender. Put the lid on tight. Seriously, you don't want hot coffee exploding everywhere. And blend until it's smooth and frothy. Pour it into your favorite mug and get ready to conquer the day. Cold brew is like the holy grail of iced coffee. And making a concentrate at home is surprisingly easy. Grab a large jar or pitcher and add coarsely ground coffee. Pour in cold water, yes, cold, and give it a good stir. Cover it up and stick it in the fridge for at least 12 hours, or even better, overnight. Once it's done brewing, strain it through a cheesecloth-lined strainer or a coffee filter. You'll be left with a concentrated cold brew that you can mix with water, milk, or whatever your heart desires. All right, let's switch gears and talk about Turkish coffee. It's a whole experience, and it's surprisingly easy to make. You'll need a special pot called a sezvo, but if you don't have one, a small saucepan will do. Add finely ground coffee and water to the sezvi. Place it on the stove over low heat and bring it to a simmer. As it heats up, you'll see a foam forming on top. Use a spoon to scoop some of the foam into your cup. Continue heating the coffee until it foams up again, then pour it into your cup. Let it sit for a minute or two so the grounds settle to the bottom. Then enjoy. Last but not least, let's whip up some Dalgona coffee. It's like the internet's favorite coffee drink, and for good reason. It's delicious and surprisingly easy to make. In a bowl, add instant coffee, sugar, and hot water. Use a hand mixer or a whisk to beat it until it's light, fluffy, and holds its shape. Fill a glass with ice and your milk of choice. Spoon the whipped coffee mixture on top, and voila, Dalgona coffee in all its glory. And there you have it. 10 coffee recipes that are so easy, you'll wonder why you ever went to a coffee shop. Just kidding. I love you, coffee shops. But seriously, these recipes are perfect for those days when you need a caffeine fix, but can't be bothered with anything too complicated. So, go forth, experiment, and find your new go-to coffee order. You got this.